You know those ads for the super cheap mini systems like Nintendo and Genesis? Well, I was going through my newsfeed one day and I saw one for Temu. It was just a big picture of an old school video game system. In the past, I've avoided these systems because I knew they probably wouldn't be great, but I've always been curious how bad or how good the quality was. This time I decided to try it and I got two systems, each one for only $7 a piece. And we're going to see if that was too much. Today I'm going to show you the SFC 900, or the video game console for Super SNES NES Game Stick TV game player. Also, make sure if you like this video to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with your friends to see if there's interest in something like this, because I have another one to show you. Even though I specifically ordered the version that comes in a box, this is how it was delivered. The packaging leaves something to be desired, but in its defense, it was very well protected and none of the parts were damaged during shipping. The SFC 900 comes with a micro USB cord for power, an HDMI extender, a small manual, the system itself, which is just an HDMI stick, and a 4GB micro SD card. It also comes with two SNES styled controllers that don't feel that terrible. The face buttons push in a little too far for my taste, and they have the convex buttons in the wrong positions on the bottom of the controllers as I switch to designate player 1 and player 2. The controllers are 2.4G wireless and take one AAA battery for power. Upon booting up the system, I was actually surprised. I was expecting something like a plain ROM selection interface like the Power Pack or the EverDrive, but this thing actually had a menu screen with background music and categories for different game types. The menu graphics are generic, but I did like that the window above changed position depending on which option you were on. You use the D-pad to navigate the options and the start and select buttons to move forward and back through the menus. Within each selection, every game is listed and accompanied by a screenshot. The last folder was a surprise. With a total of 631 games, it starts out with some random SNES ROMs, including some ROM hacks, but after scrolling down a bit, there's a plethora of NES games. I shouldn't have been surprised because it says in the title that NES games are included with this, but I just figured that was some Chinese mistranslation. Some appear to be in Chinese, but plenty of these games are in English and completely playable. The controllers are responsive and I didn't feel much lag when playing. When in a game, you can hit the start and select button to open up the in-game menu where you have a few options. You can change the output to NTSC or PAL, have the games displayed full or natural screen sizes, and you even have multiple save slots. A lot more work was put into this than I had thought. It has the same options as an actual licensed mini system. But after I spent a little time with the SFC 900, I started to notice some issues. Let's take a look at the game selection screen. Can you see the problem? It's missing all games starting with B and C. They forgot to copy the B and C games. And I know they forgot because when you insert the micro SD card into your PC, there are no BRC games. Also, I'm not sure what they were thinking with the categorization of some of these games. They have Earthworm Jim and Final Fantasy games paired together in the adventure games, even though they are a completely different genre. So sometimes you'll have RPG games and adventure games, and other times you have to go do puzzle games for Earthbound. I didn't know Faceball 2000 was considered a puzzle game, or Game Genie, or Ghoul Patrol. When you think fighting games, you think one-on-one, but then you have Aerial Fighters over here, a shooter game, instead of in the shooting games category with the other shoot-em-ups. The emulation isn't great, with the frame rate on some games being very stuttery or having massive slowdown. The volume on some sound effects is way too loud, which is a sign of poor emulation. Some games do run just fine, so it's a case-by-case basis. The NES games do seem to run full speed, and I didn't notice any sound issues with them. So, you get what you pay for. At the time of this video, the SFC 900 is going for about $16 on Temu, but you can probably get that lowered with the massive amounts of coupons the site throws at you. If you're looking for a quick and dirty way to play SNES or NES games, then this is a good option. But if you have any other option, don't waste your money on this. And that's all I have for you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.